the same. Swipe that page, get in the mood. Comic-Con energy, we're bringing the food. Fan culture rise and fandoms unite. Welcome to our party, it's gonna be tight.
You're watching Kicking It with Onrie, the live shopping show. What is up, everybody? Welcome back to Kicking It with Onrie, the live shopping show. I'm your host, Onrie Kompens. It's great to be here with you guys this afternoon. This morning this night was really rough. So where you guys last left me, I stayed up for a little bit, did a little bit of light reading and went to bed. And at about 2 a.m, I had Bentley sleeping right next to me, and I was kind of like stroking his ear, and I felt something fall on my finger, and it was kind of moving around, and I'm like, what the hell is this? So I turned on the lights, and it turned out that there was a tick on my finger, and I was really concerned. So I took this tick, and I got rid of it immediately, and I had to take off all my bed sheets. Alan, my younger son, he tends to sleep with me, so I had to move him into his room and do all that. And so had to wash everything, put a collar on Bentley, and I was just reading things online and just making sure everything was okay. But needless to say, I did not get any sleep last night. And then this morning, I had to ship out all my stuff to Phoenix for the convention that I'm doing next week. I got everything ready. I was spending all day yesterday doing this, mainly because my mom needed me to help her out this morning. She needed to go to a doctor's appointment, and I wanted to help her out since that's what a good son does, right? So as I'm dropping off my package, which is actually a skid, it's a big freight. So basically what I do is I send everything. I'll show you guys how I ship all my books. It's always on a skid. So this is usually how I ship everything up. I throw all my boxes on a skid, and then I used to be able to wrap everything up at the warehouse, but now I have a facility that I use to ship everything. They do it. Anyway, they were pulling everything off. They use a forklift to take everything off of the back of my car, off of my trunk. So I basically load the pallet, the skid, into my car, throw all the boxes on top, and then they use their forklift to take everything out of the car. Last time, the guy who did it with such surgical precision that I wasn't even concerned. And he was there this morning, but they sent a different guy out there. And it was raining really bad. And anyway, he got in really close, and he damaged the top of my car a little bit. Not with the fork, but with this part of the forklift. It hit the top of the bottom part of my trunk lid, and it caused some paint to chip, and it just, now I got to go file a report and do all this stuff. And it's not really the best kind of way to start my relationship with these guys, because I'm going to be shipping through them all the time, and I certainly don't like accidents like this happening. But the morning called for it because it was raining really bad, and I had to get everything done because tomorrow I'm leaving for Dallas. So this kind of just put a real dent in my day, on top of the fact I didn't get much sleep. And then, my mom was in a lot of pain earlier, and fortunately she's doing a lot better now. She just needed to have some stuff adjusted for her situation, and she's doing a lot better now. But it has not left me in the best of moods. And fortunately, I was able to get a little bit of a nap in, but it's also kind of rough because this week I have the kids, and unfortunately, I don't really get to spend a lot of time with them. And that always kills me. I always love it when the kids are here and we get to hang out and do stuff. And this is a really short week. I always hate, the one thing that's really tough about going to Comic-Cons when I have the kids is leaving the kids. It was always tough. So in all the 15 years that I've been doing this, or 12 years that I've been doing this with children, it's never been easy. It's always been really hard doing it and having to leave your kids behind. But it's what needs to be done, and got to go out there and sling some comics and bring back the goods so we can keep things moving. And I just want to let you guys know I really appreciate all of your support, especially with these live sales shows, because this really takes a lot of the stress off of me when I go to conventions. You know, you never know what's going to happen when you get on the floor. Most of the time I can anticipate what's going to happen, and I'm actually not even concerned about this show at all. I'm just more concerned about what's going to happen here while I'm gone, just with family and everything. You know, it's hard doing all that, but going to a con and doing what I do, the results are going to be whatever they're going to be, right? But when I know that, when I know that we're in a situation where we're selling comics here, it takes a lot of the pressure off of what I do at the convention. So hopefully we have a good show today. Either way, welcome. Thank you for being here. And as always, if you spend $25 with me today, we're going to spin the wheel for you. And if you spend $50 with me and you're located within the United States, I'm going to hook you up with free shipping. And I'm also going to hook you guys up with some killer deals on all of these lower rack books here. We're going to do all of these books today at just $3. Every book for just $3. And we got some new stuff here too. And we got some new stuff up top. I have some new stuff that I'm going to be showcasing that I just picked up yesterday that I didn't even get a chance to go through yet. And we're going to go with it. What's up, Katrina? He hit my Maserati. Tick superpowers. So this is the Tick live sale today. Man. Yeah, I have no idea. And it was weird because it was almost like this intuition. Bentley was making these weird noises he does this all the time when he's going to puke or something. So in the back of my mind, I was kind of getting ready for him to do that. And sometimes if he moves really quickly or something like that while he's sleeping, he'll puke. So I was kind of anticipating that. And I guess my brain was just kind of set to react to it. But then I just don't know how I caught it. That's the thing I'm just still so amazed by. It's like it was like my dad dog senses really kicked into overdrive. So I'm glad I was able to catch everything and that everything's okay. That's the most important thing. And here's Bentley. Come here, buddy. He came downstairs. He's wearing his Tick collar. You say hi? He's a good boy. Good boy. He's being a really good dog today. He was really upset too. I tried to keep him off the bed after that, and then I just kind of realized if he couldn't stay off the bed. He had to go back. The bed's his bed, so he got back on it, and I was like, all right, you can sleep here. Everything's all right. This Tick collar does a really good job of keeping ticks away from him and everything. And I talked to the vet, and they said as long as he's not showing any kind of weird symptoms, he's okay. So Bentley's doing okay. He's just wearing his Tick collar for the rest of the day, and that's it. Dan Price, how you doing, sir? How's your Kickstarter campaign going? Feel free to drop a link. All right, let's get to it. First book we have this afternoon is Hulk number 287. We have a newsprint copy here, newsstand copy. And this is going to go for just $3. Everything is going to go for $3. And this is a very fine too, which is really cool. You got Al Milgram, and not sure last name's Wilson, but this is in pretty good shape here. Hulk 287, $3. I have Captain America 331, direct edition copy. Fine on this. We're going to do it at $3. $3 on Cap 331. Here's something I just grabbed from my LCS. We got Marvel's Greatest Comics, starring the Fantastic Four, number 54. This is going to go for $3. This is in good shape. Got all the Fantastic Four members. It looks like a reprint of some old Fantastic Four stories. Pretty cool. Marvel Spotlight on Captain Universe, number 11. Who says crime doesn't pay? Whoever says crime doesn't pay doesn't work in comics, am I right? All right, I got Marvel Spotlight on Captain Universe, number 11. This is going to go for $3. $3 on this. Roberto Santiago is claiming the Hulk. Roberto, how you doing? Are you still in you're still in lacrosse, right? You're back and forth. I want to get rid of all these lower rack books today. I'm very determined to do it. Every book is going to go for just $3, $3 on all of them. Still hanging in lacrosse, cool. Yeah, are you out by the river over there that separates Wisconsin from Minnesota? Lots of cheese curds and everything. It's a cool town. I have Marvel Spotlight on Nick Fury, number 31. That's going to go for $3. You know, I actually found a really cool thrift store over there. They had a killer comic book collection over there. And I picked up this Joseph Michael Linzer book that was, it's about a vampire in Christmas. And it was just such a great graphic novel. And I was like so pleased with it. So I read it, and then I saw him at Planet Comic Con. I'm like, hey, I read this book. And he was like, oh, man, thank you. We actually had a really great conversation. And it's funny because Dan last week when he was on my show, he was sharing his story about what it was like, never meet your heroes kind of a thing. And I wouldn't say that, Joseph is a big hero of mine, but I respect his artwork. I mean, I respect the man. He's a really talented artist, But he was just so kind, and it was really wonderful to have a conversation with somebody who was happy that I read their work and was happy to talk about it and go into more detail about it. That's a really wonderful thing. I don't always see that with comic creators. A lot of them have imposter syndrome and are like, oh, glad you liked it. As Jeff Loeb told Dan, at least you're having fun. That's usually the kind of response I get when I come up to a creator and I'm like, hey, I read your comic and I loved it. Well, at least you're having fun, D. Parson, what's up, man? How you doing? No, I don't remember the name of the place, and I'm not even sure if it's open anymore because that was like 10 years ago. The last time I was in lacrosse was in 2016. We were actually finishing Eastern Shin Fallen Avenger 4. That's actually where I wrote that Tales from the Crypt story that you won on the for helping us fund, Roberto. And what's interesting about that cover too is not only was it signed by Dean Haishpiel, here, I'll show it to you right now. Dean also did this cover that Dean did was actually based on the story that I wrote for Tales from the Crypt. So each cover of the book was actually like there's 3 stories in here, and each cover was like meant to be an image based on one of the stories that was in there. So Dean Haishpiel did the one that I did, which is really cool. So I wrote this and was working on Fallen Avenger 4 at the same time in lacrosse, like right over there. So I remember visiting there, very well. And I was up all night over there. It was interesting. It was August of 2016. Long time ago. Yeah, it's a good, but I don't remember the name of the shop, but it was like a little tiny thrift shop. It was, somewhere in town. And I remember having a really good breakfast out there, but, it's just like a cute little college town. It's really nice. All right, I got Miss Marvel number 7. We got MODOK on the cover. This is going to go for just $3. $3 on Miss Marvel number 7. Newsstand copy, going to call that a fine, just a fine. Masters of Kung Fu number 35, another fine copy here, going for just $3. Got a bunch of Master of Kung Fu's, so if anybody decides they want to grab one, I have more. Doctor Strange, Master of the Mystic Arts, newsstand copy, issue 16, going for $3. The Mighty Avengers number 254. This is going to go for $3. Early White Vision makes his first appearance in, I think, 251, 249. I don't remember. Yeah, I think it was 249. It was so funny. That book was worth nothing, and I remember I had like 2 copies of it. And then WandaVision comes out, and they show White Vision, and price of that book shoots up in value. I'd never seen anything like this, and that was actually when I first started like really doing these live sales, and it was just amazing. It was just a really great time to be in the business if you were, trying to, like it was just a boom period, and comics see this all the time. There are boom periods in comics. This was one of them, and I was there for a very short period of it. But the thing that I realize now, having a background working in a hedge fund for 10 years, the more you understand the market that you're in, the more likely you are to thrive in it when you are in those boom periods. So that's why that's why I'm such an avid collector, is because I want to read everything, especially dollar books, guys. Like I'm telling you, that issue of Avengers was, I think one copy sold, like a CGC sold for like $1,100 overnight, and this was like a $2. This was like a 50-cent book. Like it was not worth anything, and it just shot up in value. And there's all kinds of things that can dictate this. Honestly, I think that we're about to see a huge surge in comic book interest with the summer coming up. Actually, I really do have a lot of faith in this Superman movie. I think it's going to be fantastic. I think it is going to have a divided audience, but I do think it's going to pave the way forward for DC Studios to continue making movies, and they're going to continue to get better and better. I think they made the right choice by bringing James Gunn in. I think he did a great job with everything he's done for Marvel with Guardians and everything he's done for DC. He did Suicide Squad 2. No one would have cared about that, but he made us care about it. And then he did Peacemaker, which was phenomenal. I love Peacemaker. And then he did Creature Commandos, which is fantastic too. So this guy's got a pretty good batting average right now, and I think he's going to knock it out of the park with Superman. I'm really excited about it. I think there's going to be some twists in it that we're not expecting. But what I also expect from it is that it's going to be a simple story that we can follow. And it's not going to be something that I think is going to veer too much from what we expect as fans. Like Zack Snyder brought his own vision to these characters. And I don't think that there's anything particularly wrong with that. But I think that when you're doing that and you're trying to build a universe, you kind of have to stay true to the source content. And to some degree he did, but he was more inspired by the Miller, by what Frank Miller did in Millerverse, I guess you can say, but his Dark Knight Returns and all that kind of stuff. So in that world, Superman is kind of looked down upon, and I don't think that Zack Snyder necessarily looked down on Superman, but everything was just too dark and murky. Superman's got to be kind of lighter, and it should be humorous. And I think this Superman has personality. I think he has more personality than than Henry Cavill was allowed to have as the character. I really don't want to see Henry Cavill as Wolverine, though. But I do want to see. I was actually hoping to see him as Cyclops, but they're actually thinking about bringing Patrick Schwarzenegger in as Cyclops, and I think that'll be perfect. Patrick Schwarzenegger is excellent for Cyclops. I'm totally for that. All right, next up I have Daredevil 198. That's going to go for just $3. Direct edition copy for $3. I have Creatures on the Loose, number 37. Very early George Perez work on Man-Wolf with David Anthony Kraft, my co-writer and mentor on Yeast and Shin. This is going to go for $3. Howard the Duck doesn't give a flying, flipping fark if you don't buy this book. Howard the Duck number 16 is going to go for $3. Newsstand copy. We're going to call this a Fine Plus. Fantastic Four 192 is going to go for $3. $3 on Fantastic Four number 192. You know why it's fun? Because it's fantastic. Fantastic Four. Now, I want to see who actually worked on this issue. Lewis, how you doing? I see your claim. I'll pull that, Howard, for you in just a second here. This one's written by Roger Slifer, very good friend of Dax, by the way. And I actually had a chance to have dinner with Roger at Long Beach Comic-Con back in 2011. Roger Slifer worked with Dak very closely, and he also helped co-create Lobo. And he also created a character with Dak at Marvel called Lunatic. But he worked really closely with Dak. And he actually died a number of years ago. He was involved in a hit and run, and he was the victim. And he ended up kind of like Bill Mantlo. He was alive for a little while, but he just never kind of came to himself, and he eventually died. He actually died in 2016. So it's been a while. But Roger Slifer was a great guy. He was the guest scripter along with Len Wein, who was the plotter. George Perez is the artist on this, and Joe Sinnott. And Glynis Wein. This is going to go for $3 for this Fantastic Four. Let's take a look. Roberto. Marvel Greatest Hits. Okay, I'm going to say this one's definitely like a fine, maybe a very fine. This one, it's got a little bit of a little crease. I don't even know if it's a crease, but it's definitely an ink break of some kind. So it's not something that you could just simply clean or press or do anything with, but it's just down this line. I know it might be kind of hard to see, but if you were here in person, you'd be able to see it. Other than that, though, it's in pretty good shape. Let me open it up just so you have an idea of what it looks like. But the creatures, and we'll look at the creatures on the loose too, just so you have an idea. But there's some slight dings on the back here, but the book itself is, it's together, and it's a Stanley and Jack Kirby yarn, so it's definitely a reprint. I don't know if this even needs a pressing and cleaning because it's still kind of nice. You know what I mean? You might just throw it up there at whatever price you can. I mean, I'm sure you could get, if I sell it to you at $3, I'm sure you could get $5 or $6 for it in the condition that it's in. Especially if you give it some TLC. This one, however, is in much better shape. It's got a little ding here, so it's definitely in like the fine category. I wouldn't say it's anything higher than that, but it's not really an ink break. So pressing might help a little bit. I don't know. I know you're the expert with this. But other than that, the book is in pretty good shape. And again, it's just going for $3. Yeah, I'll do 5 on both. They both need to move, so let's do it. We got 5 on both of those. Anything to move these books out of here. Thank you, Roberto. I appreciate that. Just let me pull down your. Let me pull down that Howard for you. Of course. No, thank you. Appreciate it. I'm just happy to see these books move, guys. Honestly, that's the most rewarding thing for me. The one thing that makes me the most happy. Of course. All right. I was hoping actually when I get out to Dallas tomorrow to go out and visit a comic shop, but I decided I'm going to go in to set up at the convention early. Mainly because right now I need to make money before I do any more comic shopping. I went and bought a bunch of stuff for myself over the last week. So I finished my Batman New 52 run. So now I'm reading Zero Year. I'm also reading Dead Man. I'm on issue 3. I'm reading Neil Adams' series first, and then I'm going to read that Andrew Helfer series that Jose Luis Garcia Lopez worked on. And then what else am I reading? I'm reading Camelot 3000, which has been so good. Brian Bolland's artwork is like phenomenal, and it feels so like it's just such a rewarding, fun, light read. It's like King Arthur in the year 3000. It's awesome. It's like the world has been, taken over by aliens, and King Arthur comes back, and he's now trying to, save the world. It's really cool, and I've enjoyed the first 2 issues quite a bit, and then I'm reading whatever stuff that I pick up from shops. So I pulled 10 books this week. I'm reading the latest issue of Superman, Daredevil. One bad day. What is it? Not One Bad Day. The Old Man Daredevil book. A Cold Day in Hell or something like that. Batman, the latest issue of Hush 2. Let's see, what else am I reading? Absolute Wonder Woman. That's been pretty good. Ultimate Spider-Man. Predator versus Spider-Man 2 dropped this week. Absolute Martian Manhunter. Justice League. Unlimited. I'm following. There's like a big storyline right now called We Are Yesterday, and it's like a big villain thing. So I read the first chapter. That was okay. We'll see how it shapes up. And then what else did I get this week? Uncanny X-Men. Uncanny X-Men's like a guilty pleasure. I'm always kind of like, man, I should really stop just buying this book because I know I'm going to find all of these X-Men books in a dollar bin soon, But I kind of want to know what happens next, and I really do enjoy the writing right now on X-Men. It's been pretty good, and I'm liking what they're doing with it, so I keep buying it. And then Eddie Brock Carnage. I'm really enjoying that too. I like Eddie Brock as Carnage. That's been a lot of fun. Yeah, the Ultimate stuff is awesome. Hey, Ken, how you doing, dude? I just shipped out everything for Phoenix this week, and that included the long box of books that you purchased from me. So I'm really happy that it's off my plate now. I just hope that it arrives in Phoenix okay, and then I will hand it to you at the convention. So be prepared to walk off the convention floor with a long box of books next week. And thank you so much for being so patient with me. I really appreciate it. Yeah, Camelot 3000, really good stuff. Yeah, Camelot 3000 is really good. Katrina, I think I have some loose issues of it in one of my boxes. I have I have 6 of the 12 issues. If you're interested, let me know, and I can find them for you and put them aside for you. They're like $2 a pop. All right, next up I have House of Mystery presents I, Vampire number 318. That's going to go for just $3. You guys are very engaged today. I appreciate that. Makes me very happy. All right, I'm going to pull some more books here so we can try and move through some more of this stuff. Some more $3 books here that I can just get rid of. Let's see what else will go. All right, let's see here. All right. I have Invaders 41. I'll do this at $3 just to move it. It's the final issue of the series. We had it priced at $10 originally, but sitting on my eBay store for too long, not moving, not doing anything. So now it's here, and it's just going to go for $3 because I'd rather just move it at this point. When something is just sitting there accumulating dust, it's not doing anyone any good. I have Incredible Hulk 296. That's going to go for $3 as well. I have Defenders 29. That will also go for $3. And Blood Syndicate number 1. That's going to go for $3. All these at $3. I always try and keep a theme for the lower rack if you guys don't notice. So today's theme is kind of like Bronze to Copper Age books, older books. And then, once I do FOMO, the FOMO books that don't sell kind of dictate what the lower rack is going to be, but this is kind of how we kind of keep a little bit of a theme going here. But let me know, would you guys like me to mix it up sometime too? Maybe I should. There was one time I did like all indie books on the lower rack. That was a lot of fun. Let's look for it real quick. Let me check my Marvel bin here. If I have it, I'll just bring it with me to the show. Let me check for you, Ken. Marvel Fan Of course, it's got to be in the very freaking back of the Simone box here. Marvel Age, Fanfare. No, sorry, I only have 40 and 43. I don't have 56. If I can find it, though, I'll let you know. I'm sure you'll be able to find a copy on the floor of what's it called? Phoenix. My mother was a hamster, and your father stunk of elderberries. See, that's producer Kyle here from The Experience, letting us all know that his presence is what matters most. How you doing, Kyle? Good to see you, man. Kyle, you got a show going on today, or anything you want to let us know about? Feel free to do so. And Kyle and I we keep trying to make something work with like a co-op show, and it just never works out because of everything that's going on. But I really want to do a co-op show with him at some point. It's just timing. Timing is always the issue. All right, so I have some sets up here. I have Judge Dredd's Crime File. We have number 1, number 2, all these beautiful covers by Brian Bolland. Number 3, number 4, number 5. Have you guys seen those like AI shorts where like, you know, there's a whole thing of a man made of pasta like eating himself? The synthetic man? You know, there's things like that. This is pretty creepy. And number 6. Okay, so we got a live sale tonight at 9 and Kyle and Jay's Q&A. So be sure to tune in. Kyle and Jay's Q&A is really awesome because I like to I like to look at it the same way that you know, FDR used to have his fireside chats. This is Kyle kind of sitting down with you guys and letting you know what's going on at The Experience and just opening up the floor to, you know, engaging with you guys about all things comics. And there is no one more fun to talk about comics with than Kyle and Jay. So Kyle, feel free to drop the link for tonight's show and for your live sale as well. Kyle has done so much for me over the years, guys. In fact, the base of my collection came from Kyle. So I bought Overstock from him back in 2021. And, you know, he helped me stock up majorly. And at that point, we had over probably about 150 long boxes. But you know, after we accumulated everything that he sold me, and it lasted me a long time, and it really helped me get on my feet and everything. So Kyle really has taken care of me and taken me under his wings, as some might say, in terms of the comic book dealing world. This was a new world to me when I first started doing it. So now I'm starting to become a little bit more of an old hand at this. But all right, so here's what's really cool about these Judge Dredd books. Brian Bolland did the covers, but do you want to know who did the interiors on this? John Byrne. John Byrne and John Wagner is the writer, but you got John Byrne doing Judge Dredd. How freaking badass is that? And we got 6 issues here. It's the whole series, so you don't got to hunt anything down. These are in great shape. I have your whole series here, and it's going for just $15. All of these books for $15. The View, but with bearded fat guys. That's awesome. Oh, sorry. Yes. You're processing a new collection about, wow, that's pretty cool. That's awesome. That's always the exciting thing. There's 2 things that I love the most about being a comic book collector. One, it's buying a new collection and processing it and realizing, wow, there's just some, you know, mining it for gold, right? But the other thing is when you find those books that are plugging in the gaps in your obscure collection, you know, finding that weird book that you want to add to your collection, or that one thing that you want to have completed so you can enjoy the entire story whenever you like. So those are the 2 greatest sensations. All right. Next up, I have Kingdom Come, and I just picked this up yesterday. I have all 4 parts by Mark Waid and Alex Ross. This is a new acquisition here. all 4 issues. This is one of my favorite covers of all time. Really love this. Actually, Chuck, since you're in the room, we actually were going to take this concept and kind of run with it for the cover of Fallen Avenger 4, like Yi Sun-shin just kind of like, you know, walking towards, you know, the reader and kind of having flames in the background and just kind of like being reborn, like a phoenix rising from the ashes kind of a thing. And this was a big inspiration, but then Dak was not happy with that influence, and so we went a different direction. But what a freaking badass cover this is, huh? And if you notice, the flames are kind of red to kind of symbolize Superman's cape. It's really cool. So if you want to get all of Kingdom Come, which is a really pivotal story here, this is going to go for $15 today. 15 on this. Oh, dude, totally. And Roberto, you actually did that for me with the Sam Wilson Captain America stuff, which I still haven't finished reading. I got to get back on my Sam Wilson Captain America. I'm reading Nick Spencer's Sam Wilson Captain America run and his Steve Rogers Captain America run. Those were kind of written to be coincided between each other, and they kind of crossed over into a couple Marvel events like Civil War II, which is where I'm at right now, and then eventually Secret Empire. So, which I also recently picked up the entire run. So, and by recent, I'm talking like over the last 5 months. So I'm really behind on my reading. Yeah, we'll have to have a conversation about it. We still haven't come up with a cover for the final issue of Yi Sun-shin, and that is definitely a concept worth revisiting, I think. All right. I have Dark Crystal, number 1 and number 2. I will do both of these books today for just $8. So I was selling them at 10, 5 a piece. Now I'm just going to do them at 4 a piece. So $8. Let's move them. Okay, we got a lower rack that's filled up. And then I did pull one extra book here. This one I'm really want to move this. Maybe I'll have more luck when in a couple months. But I have this issue 2 of the 4-part miniseries of Peacemaker, written by Paul Kupperberg and illustrated by Todd Smith and Pablo Marcos. This is going to go for just $3. I'm into it for $5. I was hoping to flip it for $8, but I'm just going to do it for $3. I really want to sell this book, so if anybody's interested, it's right here. Feel free to call it at any point. And with that being said, I am ready to move on to $2 comics. After I take this sip of coffee. And let's get going. So all of this stuff came from North Shore Comics yesterday. Pete was at a one-day show, and he basically sold off a major part of his collection and reacquired a new one. So there's a bunch of stuff in here that is still loose, but it's all going for $2. And it's a lot of modern stuff, but there's some other stuff in there too. I'll also be showcasing the stuff that I pulled out last night too. So, you know, anything that didn't sell from last night. Those are all going to be $2 comics. After we go through all of that stuff, I have a box of dollar comics that I'm really just eager to get rid of. So we'll move to dollar comics afterwards. All right, so we'll start with the new. I have Becky Cloonan and Steve Dillon's Punisher, number 10 and number 17. Actually, we have a different artist here, but he seems to be drawing the Punisher more like John Barenthal, which I think is great. This is going to go for $4. You know, even though John Barenthal overplays the role of Punisher, what he really does that's important for that character is he gives him a personality. He makes him likable. And another thing he does for the character is he makes you interested in it. So I'm all for John Barenthal being the Punisher, even though I think sometimes he kind of overacts the role, you know, but it's okay. It's like when the characters are like, Christian Bale did that with Batman. You know, he totally like overacted as Batman at times. It was just like, whoa, chill out, buddy. Stand behind your table at the comic convention. Don't go jumping out there and swinging your bookmarks and trying to get me to buy your book. Shut your mouth and get behind your table, all right? That's how I felt about Christian Bale as Batman. But at the same time, I also really liked Christian Bale as Batman. I think he really nailed Bruce Wayne Totally. And he was fine as Batman. He looked pretty badass as Batman. And the technology that they showcased in those movies was fantastic. And I like John Barenthal as Punisher. It's like they both do that, you know, the grunting and panting, the panting grunting. All right, I have Hulk, which is actually She-Hulk, number 8. This is going to go for $2. Deadpool versus Old Man Logan, number 1. That's a pretty badass cover. $2. Swear to me! Why you want to kill me? And the thing too, it's like if it wasn't funny or over the top, there wouldn't be a ton of college humor skits making fun of Christian Bale's Batman. You know, like it's. But at the same time, that doesn't mean that he performed badly. He was great. But like John Barenthal has basically become the new Christian Bale with this Punisher. Everybody's just worried he's going to come and kick your ass if you say anything about it. But I'm not scared of him. It's okay. If John Barenthal comes up to me at a convention and tries to tell me off, I will just tell him that it wasn't me, it was somebody else. I'll just pass the buck off to whoever's next to me, like the neighbor at my booth. What I'm really hoping for this year when I go to Phoenix Fan Fusion is for Todd McFarlane to come up to me and to give me a cease and desist on the Spawn bootings. That would just be fantastic. No, he wouldn't. I don't know if that would be fantastic. That would actually be really bad because then we couldn't do any more bootings. But it would be cool to show him one of the bootings and see what his thoughts are, even if it's, you know, at least you're having fun. But actually, I had a nice conversation with him last year. He was really fantastic. He was walking through the artist alley and just being really wonderful. I love Todd McFarlane. He's a hero of mine. All right, I have Amazing Spider-Man number 27 and number 30. This is from Dan Slott's run. This is going to go for $4. I'm Kids Buttons. What'd you say? I'm Kids Buttons. I can't hear you. I'm Kids Buttons. What do you want to buy from me? All right. Next up, I have something special. I have Spider-Man 2099, number 22 and 25, written by the late, great creator of the character, Peter David. You get these 2 issues of Spider-Man 2099 for just $4. I have Deadpool, The Mercs for Money, number 10, going for $2. Plastic Man, number 1. We got a Kyle Baker cover here that's going to go for $2. Zen the Intergalactic Ninja, number 1 and number 2. That's going to go for $4. Got to have fun, right, Ken? Otherwise, what's the point? Hawkeye number 5, that's going to go for $2. Bullseye number 3, this is a 5-part miniseries, which is phenomenal. I absolutely love this Bullseye series. And I think I had to sell mine off because it was just one of those situations where I built out the whole collection. I'm like, okay, I read this, it's time to pass it on. But it is a really great series that focuses on Bullseye, and I highly recommend jumping on this, especially at $2. This is such good freaking stuff. Dave Johnson, Ed Brisson is the writer, and he just crafts such a great story with Bullseye. It is so great. All right, Deadpool gets claimed by Lorena. Good afternoon, Lorena. How are you? Yeah, it's such a good set. Okay, Plastic Man gets claimed. Yeah, I read it too. I really love villains. I'm a big villain guy because I think the villains are actually more interesting than the heroes. The thing about the villains is they think that they're the heroes, and that makes them infinitely more interesting And there's always this really thin line between what a hero is versus what a villain is. A villain is not selfless versus a hero who is. But a villain has a perfectly logical reason for not being selfless. So is he truly a villain? Or is he a victim of his or her circumstance? The best villains are the female villains, actually. Because you can almost always empathize. Or not. Like Nurse Ratched from One Flew Over a Cuckoo's Nest. I absolutely hated her. And they're the ones that are really sneaky and conniving. And we actually have a female villain in the next issue of Beast and Shin that we're putting out there that Chuck and I created. Chuck actually came up with the idea initially, but Dexter and I, we kind of like put something together for the character, and I'm really looking forward to showing you guys what we're doing with Beast and Shin. And Dexter just turned in yet another page from Hunter and Destroyer 3, and it is just looking so solid. Should I share it with you guys? You guys want to see another page of Beast and Shin? It's a spoiler-free page, but you can kind of see what he's working on. I'm happy to show you guys. I'm doing good, Lorena. It's been kind of a rough morning, but honestly, being here with you guys, I feel a lot better right now. I'm feeling pretty good. Had some damage done to my car this morning, which really sucked. And what else happened? Bentley, I found a tick on Bentley last night, so I didn't really get a lot of sleep yesterday. And that really sucked. But before I went to bed, I did get this page of art from Dexter. And it may be hard to see here, so I'll just let it give it the full screen layout here. But there's just so much detail in every single panel. I mean, he just did so much work. He was working so much on it. If you look at that first panel, the wider spread panel, he was actually drawing that on a separate board than he was on the panels that can't come up underneath it. But I am just so pleased to have him on this book. He is just doing such incredible work. And Adriana's already colored a number of pages for this issue. And they're both just such a great team. I didn't expect it at first, but it's funny because right around the time that Giovanni moved on from Beast Shin, we were actually looking at Dexter, and he was definitely someone I was eyeing. But we decided to settle with L, and L did a really great job. He stayed on for 5 issues, and he worked really hard. It was a pretty grueling process for everyone. And sometimes it's just not a fit, but he did a really good job on the book. He worked really hard on it. And I can't say a single bad thing about the guy. He worked really, really hard and did great work. We have a huge body of really phenomenal work thanks to him. And I'm just glad I had a chance to work with him. I'm honored that I've had a chance to work with everybody that has, turned in artwork for me. I don't think I've ever been really disappointed. I'm just grateful for the opportunity to be able to work with such great talent. It is great art. Thank you very much, Lauren. I appreciate that. I'll let Dexter know you said that. All right, I have Miles Morales Spider-Man number 15. That's going to go for $2. Amazing Spider-Man number 789, going for $2. And that's just a small preview for you guys only. If you're tuning in, you guys are the only ones who get to see that because I'm not going to be posting that on social media. Not until it's finished. Dak would have scolded me back in the day. It would have been like, don't show anyone a damn thing. And that's kind of one of the things that kind of held me back with the Warline campaign. People are like, well, show some of the art, show some of more interiors. But the problem with issue 3 is if I show any interior artwork, it's basically spoiling the story for you. So all the big pages in there, I don't want to show them because they're too revealing. And I don't like spoiling the story. I'm very secretive about it. I'm kind of the guy that likes to know less going in as opposed to knowing every little thing that's going to happen. And, some of the greatest sleeper hits I've ever experienced in any medium were always projects that I knew very little about. So, and a great example of that for me recently, I'd never seen a Godzilla movie before. I had an understanding of the general idea of a Godzilla story, and as it shaped together, I kind of understood it. But Godzilla, the what was it, -0, or -1? Sorry, -1, not -0, -1. That was a great movie, and no one spoiled it for me. I knew nothing about it going in. I didn't know when it took place. I just knew it was a Godzilla movie, and everybody was saying such great things about it. Didn't want to know a damn thing about it. Walked in and really enjoyed the heck out of it. It was fantastic. That was the best Godzilla movie I've ever seen. Well, thank you, Katrina. I will absolutely do that. Thank you very much. And honestly, the biggest person who deserves praise for the progress we're making on Eastern Shin is Chuck Pino. He really helped build my confidence on coming back to finish the series after the work we did together on Warline. And not only did he help me build up my confidence, but he also helped me develop a stronger trust in the direction of the artist. And honestly, Dexter has been taking my scripts and really elevating everything that I've done. We've had a really wonderful relationship together. And honestly, I've told Dexter this personally. I told him, if I can keep you forever, that would be wonderful. I would love to keep you on every single book that I do with Warline in the future. I'd love to have Dexter back on for Warline too. But a deeper part of me really wants to see Dexter elevate in his career. I really want to see him land at the big two. I think it'll be an important step for him in his career. So I really want to see him land at Marvel and DC at some point. And it was supposed to happen, actually. It wasn't originally going to have Dexter come on to do Yisum Shin. The idea floated, but it wasn't. It didn't seem to be in the cards because Marvel was actually asking him for test pages and everything. And, as of right now, they haven't gone back to him. They're just inviting him to resubmit. So they're basically not saying, like, you're out, but they're like, we'll resubmit. What that typically means is that they have what they're looking for. And if they're, kind of finding something else that they need, then they'll come back to you. And that's a typical thing at Marvel. So Marvel has a style, right? And DC has a style that they're particularly interested in. Back in the day, it was Jack Kirby. Everybody had to draw like Jack Kirby. And then when no one was looking, you could pull a Neil Adams and do something really out, that breaks the constructs of what Kirby did, and do something completely different and do something amazing. That is kind of the way the big two works. And it's understandable why they do that. They have, this is the standard that they have, and it's a really important standard to keep. So Dexter definitely falls in that threshold, but there's certain things that they might see in a different artist that fits the criteria of what they're looking for just a little bit more. So my hope is the more work he does for me, they'll start to pay attention, and we'll definitely keep him working on Yisum Shin. And if that doesn't do it, then we'll bring him back on Warline too. But as somebody who wants to see the people that work with me elevate to greater levels, I really hope that he moves up. I really want him to move up. But if I'm fortunate enough to have him work on Warline too, did I just reveal there's going to be a sequel to Warline? Well, you guys already knew that, but that'll be great. So, but just so you guys know, there is more Warline in the works. Have I seen any of the other Godzilla movies? No, I have not. -1 was my first. So I'm spoiled by it. I have Gwenpool number 14 and number 21. Thanks, Aaron. How you doing, dude? How's your Kickstarter going? Made a big push for you yesterday on the experience and on my newsletter. Do us a favor, drop the link for Anenra. Let's help you get the rest of your way. I have Despicable Deadpool number 287 going for $2. Star Wars number 37 is going to go for $2. Spirits of Vengeance number 1. This is a 5-part miniseries. It is absolutely so much fun. I love it. I actually have the entire set. It's written by Victor Gischler. I actually did a signing next to him once. He's a really nice guy. And it brings together Ghost Rider, Blade, Son of Satan, and forgot the daughter of Satan. Her was it Hell Witch? I'm not sure. But it brings this group together, and they're dealing with a supernatural threat. It's really cool. It's a really fun read. They got issue 1 here going for just $2. Tracking down the other issues shouldn't be a big deal, but this is just a really fun read. Tom Hutchinson put me onto this one. I saw him at a con. He was like, "That's a good series. You should check it out." So I bought it. I read it. I really enjoyed it. I was in Aruba a couple of years ago with the kids, and I brought a bunch of comics with me. I didn't get to read much because I was hanging out with the kids in the pool all day. We were playing catch and going into the beach, and going in the water and renting jet skis and doing all kinds of stuff. And we really didn't have that much of an opportunity to do a lot. Or actually, no, we had an opportunity to do a lot. I didn't have an opportunity to read much, but one of the runs I was able to get through was Spirits of Vengeance. So that tells you how it held my attention. 63% funded. And how much time do you have left? You don't have a lot of time left. And guys, we talked about this yesterday on the experience. And Aaron has been a victim of this, and I hate when this happens, but he is so close to funding. He's 63% of the way there. This guy is on the air or online every single day, pushing his Kickstarter. And if he does not hit his goal within the next 55 hours, everything he fought to raise, he gets nothing, not a cent. I think that's criminal. Honestly, I think that is so wrong. And I understand that this is how Kickstarter works. That's the algorithm, but it's not fair to the creators. And this guy has gotten stung. And I'm telling you, he's got a really great series. Fire and Blood was phenomenal. And Anenra, I haven't read it, but I just backed it right, when we had him on the air with us last week. And it looks like it's a lot of fun. Aaron knows how to tell a story, and he's also relentless. He's not going to stop. Even if he doesn't fund, I'll tell you what he's going to do. He's going to wake up the next morning and hit that launch button again, and he's going to do it with a smile on his face, and he's going to just keep pushing forward, because that's what this guy does. He's a huge inspiration to me. Really phenomenal guy. Even if he gets kicked in the teeth, he just keeps moving forward. He's like a bulldozer. 55 hours left. He's got what? Less than $1,000 to raise. A little bit over $1,000, about $1,200 to raise. Let's help the guy out. He's got 75 backers. If you guys could throw him something, or if you want to ask him any questions about his Kickstarter project, feel free to do so. All right, I got Venomverse number 5. This is going to go for $2. I totally empathize, dude. I know exactly what you're going through. I went through the same thing a week ago. I really want you to fund, dude. I want that from the bottom of my heart. I want you to succeed, man. You are such a good person, and you deserve it. You're a very talented creator. I know you're going to make it. Just keep it up, dude. You got this. I have Moon Girl and Devil Dinosaur number 23 going for $2. Scooby Apocalypse number 15. This was a fun find for all my Scooby-Doo fans out there. We have Scooby Apocalypse. I know that you guys tend to ask me about Scooby. Harley Quinn number 36 is $2. Star Wars, The Screaming Citadel, number 1 is going to go for $2. Black Panther, number 166 is going to go for $2. Marvel Legacy, number 1. This is a pretty thick book. Lots of interesting. It's a pretty big book here. Stretch out cover here. I'll turn it around so you guys can see it. Kind of like that Timeless book. Check that out. Just $2, it's yours. It's in great shape, like a rack book. Great artwork inside too, by the way. Legacy and Star Wars. All 2 of them. All right, it is almost FOMO time. It is actually FOMO time. But before we do FOMO, let me just show up a couple more books here. I have Classics Illustrated, The Invisible Man, War of the Worlds, and The Crisis by Winston Churchill. All going for $2 a pop. $6 for all 3 books. These Classics Illustrated. Swamp Thing number 92, $2. I have the Batman Adventures Annual number 2 going for $2. Rocket Man number 3 is $2. Doom Patrol number 10 is $2. I have Deadpool number 31 going for $2. Miles Morales Spider-Man number 234. This is part of Sinister Six Reborn. This is the first part of it. That's going to go for $2. Man-Thing written by R.L. Stine number 4. That's going to go for $2. I have Deadpool versus Punisher number 1, number 3, and number 4. That's going to go for $6. I have 2 copies of Vision number 1, the director's cut by Tom King. This is this looks like I'm not sure who did that variant, but it looks like Scotty Young. Don't quote me on it. And then this is just the regular A cover, but these are the director's cut versions of issue 1 of Vision. If anyone is interested, they're both going to go for $2 a pop. Man-Thing is cleaned. Amazing Spider-Man, Renew Your Vows by Jerry Conway and Ryan Stegman. We have issues 8, 9, and 12. All 3 are going to go for just $6. $6 on the Amazing Spider-Man. Renew Your Vows. Scotty Vision off to Lorena. I might actually keep one of them. I'm interested in rereading Vision. I read it when it came out. I got the trades for it, but I never got the single issues. Kind of regret that. Doom Patrol off to Lorena. Some good stuff in that collection I picked up from Pete. I have Venom number 152, number 155, which kicks off an arc called Lethal Protector. Get them both. It's just $4 for the 2 Venoms. Mace Window number 3, $2. Here's another Tom King book. Mr. Miracle. We got number 4 here. It's going to go for $2. I can't tell if this is the variant or if it's the main cover. I wish they would do what Dynamite does and just show what all the variants are. I should start doing that too. Mr. Miracle number 4 is going to go for $2. Dr. Aphra number 13 is going to go for $2. Doctor Strange and the Sorcerer's Supreme number 7 is going to go for $2. I want to make you guys laugh real quick. All right, hang on a second here. Okay. Hang on just a second. Move. Okay. We're going to go back to that Mace Windu book for a minute. Okay. Now, if Samuel L. Jackson was watching this show right now, he'd be giving you guys this look for, not picking up Mace Windu #3. Just imagine as you pass up on this book, that's Samuel L. Jackson looking at you right now for not buying that book. He's staring at you right now. Okay? You won't have buyer's remorse. The only remorse you'll have is if you don't buy this book. There's your pitch. Mace Windu #3. Mace motherfucking Windu. The hell? You got a problem? Looks like my pitch didn't work. All right, I have Infinity Inc. by Roy Thomas and Todd McFarlane. Issues 22, number 23, number 24, and number 25. All illustrated by Todd McFarlane. I think this is really awesome. You can grab all these for just $8. I think Infinity Inc. is going to become something that we're going to start wanting to pay attention to once the DCU starts to really pick up some steam. Thank you, Katrina. I appreciate it. Thank you very much. I'm glad. You know, I work really hard to come up with fun ways to pitch comics, and you know, I really like that one. You know, that really made me happy. All right. That was really great. Thank you for noticing, because sometimes you feel invisible when you're behind this camera. You know, you feel invisible. Or actually, when you're in front of the camera, I'm not behind the camera. There's a wall behind the camera. I don't have a cameraman. It's just me, little old me. But you know, you feel like no one's really watching. You wonder, is anybody really listening to my Mace Windu pitch? And you know, you made me realize that, you know, even though no one picked it up, there's someone out there who cares, and that's what matters. I have Superman Madman Hullabaloo #2 of 3 going for $2. Power Man and Iron Fist #77 going for $2. Future State Green Lantern #2 is $2. Wow, crickets. Future State Superman versus Imperious Lex #3 going for $2. Deadpool #19, $2. All right, I think it is time we do FOMO books. Time for FOMO. All right, you guys ready? Let's do it.
It's FOMO time!
Is that an acronym for me getting a chance to play the Flash again? Oh, that's what it means. It was a good Flash! No one wants to play Flash comics on Onrie show because of me! And I can't buy comics either because I'm a big weenie!
Oh my god, like, shut up already.
Holy crap! Did Lorena just call Mace Windu? My pitch worked! They don't just call me the greatest salesman in comics for nothing, folks. Who wants to get in here with me, huh? I'll sell that Mace Windu any day of the week. Thank you, Lorena. Much love to you. Mace Windu sold, and it was all because of my pitch. It had nothing to do with Lorena's interest in the book itself. It was my pitch. Me. I'm taking all the credit. And in fact, let's make this FOMO run a little bit more fun. Sorry. Greatest victory of the day. I don't care if another comic doesn't sell for the whole show. Actually, I do. But I don't care. I'm just really happy that book sold. So let's see if this will work too. Let's have Samuel L. Jackson stare at you guys while I pitch these FOMO books, okay? So if you decide not to get them, just imagine. You don't even have to imagine. You know, there he is right now, Samuel L. Jackson from Black Snake Moan. He's looking at you right now, and he's like, why don't you buy these motherfucking books? You know, so just pay attention, okay? Pay attention. Shh. Okay? Shh. Mace Windu, it sold because of this guy. This guy made Mace Windu sell. And he's looking at all of you right now as I'm about to show off these FOMO books. I have the Joker, Man Who Stopped Laughing, number 5. We got a Lee Bermejo cover here, going for $5. Destro, number 1, $5 on Destro number 1. Rick and Morty, the 10th anniversary special, number 1. That's going to go for $5. Chitara, number 1, is going to go for $5. Scarlet, number 1, is going to go for $5. Doom Academy, number 1, is going to go for $5. What If Donald Duck Became the Mighty Thor, number 1? This is going to go for $10. And then I have Deadpool, number 8. We got a variant cover here, going for just $5. These are your FOMO books. Now, you know what Samuel Jackson's thinking in the back of his head? He can't talk right now, but if you could read his mind, you'd be like, some of you all better make some claims on these books, fucking FOMO books. By the way, Max is right over here, and he's hearing me make all this, he's hearing me drop all those F-bombs. He hears me drop a lot of F-bombs. How many F-bombs do you hear me drop on a weekly basis?
Like a weekly basis or a daily basis?
Daily basis.
Like 5?
5? That's it? That's pathetic. Come on, I drop a lot more F-bombs than just 5. Fuck that shit. Oh, damn it. Fucking A. Why the fuck not? Up your game, man. Gotta put more. Well, I have Samuel Jackson. I'm upping my game here. He's supposed to be selling the books right now. Here, you guys can look at him. Clearly looking at the board and seeing if you want these books is not good enough. Here he is. He's looking at you. Father of the Year. That is right. That's how I father my children. As soon as the show is done, I put on my wife beater and I start yelling the F-bomb at both my kids. And my dog, too. Especially my dog. All right. Here I am. I have returned. Stop sharing here. All right. So you see all the FOMO books here? I have Masters of the Universe Revelation number 2, written by Kevin Smith, going for $2. Put on his K-hood too. Absolutely. You know it. Give you guys a second here if you want to claim anything on the double rack right now. These are all new books. Anything that piques your interest, let me know. Otherwise, I'm going to take everything down from the double rack and we're going to keep building. I got plenty of stuff to showcase. So at 216, I'll take everything down. Mike, how you doing? I'm not sure I want to do the double rack yet because this is all new stuff. So I haven't even made my money back on it yet. It's after it circulates for a while and, I sell through enough stuff to kind of cover my costs on it. So far I haven't even broken even on what I spent on getting these books. So not ready to do a double rack sale just yet. But if there's anything that piques your interest on here, we're doing $2 on every book. I have some Spidey books up here. I have some Spidey 2099. I have some Dan Slott Spider-Man here. I have issue 789. I also have Renew Your Vows by Jerry Conway and Ryan Stegman. We got Miles Morales Spider-Man. We got a whole bunch of stuff here. Let me know if you want to see it, and I'll pull it out for you. Scooby Apocalypse is number 15, Katrina. You know what? Here's what I'll do. I'm not going to just take all these down. I'll showcase them again so you guys have another shot at them. you guys can see these books again. Mike, how you doing, dude? Good to see you. I'm going to go crazy on the FOMO books right now, on at least some of them. Everything except the Doom Academy and the What If are going to go for just $3 now. So Scarlet #1 is $3. Destro #1 is $3. Joker, the Man Who Stopped Laughing, is $3. Deadpool, $3. Rick and Morty, $3. Chitara, $3. This stuff's got to move. Why am I selling it so cheap? Because I got to get it out of here. If I got to continue showcasing this stuff again and again, we got a problem. So I'm ready to make it work. Rick, Morty, Joker. That's what I want to see. I want this stuff out of here. Doesn't have to make sense to you guys, but it needs to make sense to me. Or it needs to make sense to the guy who did the thing. I'll just keep showing comics. I'll shut up. I'll shut up now, okay? Fine. Okay, cool. So you want me to set aside the Donald Duck and we'll chat after the show? No problem. I got you. Thank you, Katrina. Okie dokie. Let's see what else we got here. So we got 5 FOMO books left, right? 5 FOMO books left. Okay, gonna go over all the $2 books, all new acquisitions, new stuff. I have Vision #1, the director's cut, going for $2. This collects issues 1 and 2 of the Vision, and it's a director's cut, so it's got scripts in there and some thumbnails and other cool stuff in the back, going for just $2. What's up, Frank Forte? We got Frank Forte in the house. How you doing, dude? 90s XXX black and white variant horror porno comics. No, I do not right now, unfortunately. Those are kind of rare. You know who you'd want to shop with for that is Kyle. Kyle I know that he's come across a ton of indie stuff. Like, not sure if it's porn, but I know he's got some stuff there. No, I don't have anything right now, unfortunately. Most of it, like I had like some stuff that you put out, but yeah, I don't have anything from the 90s. I mean, hey man, sometimes people are looking for that, and it's my job to supply it. I'll sell you porn comics. I don't care. I don't mind. It's great. Gets you away from the screen. That's the way I look at it. All right. Hope you're doing well, dude. Rocket Man #3 is $2. Power Man and Iron Fist #77 is $2. Doctor Strange and the Sorcerer Supreme #7 is $2. Deadpool versus Punisher. We have issues 1, 3, and 4. That's going to go for $6. Frank, no on both shows. I'm not doing San Diego until I can actually get a booth over there. So I'm kind of like waitlisted, and I think you got to just keep reapplying, and I don't think I reapplied this year. So until I actually get in, and I really hate San Diego's convention floor rules. They don't allow you to bring dollies onto the floor. They try and make it so that you got to use two-handed carts and things like that. So it's a lot of logistics that are going to go into it. Not saying that I'll never do it again, but LA Comic-Con, it's kind of one of those shows where, I'll make money over there, but it's not the kind of money I want to make. So I really don't want to invest time and energy into doing it. So Just going to stay away from the West Coast for now, but not necessarily stay away from the West Coast, just not doing those particular shows. Ha! Very good point. Yeah, I'm showing them, Chris. These are all the new books, so they're intermixed here. Masters of the Universe Revelation number 2 is $2. Spider-Man number 234, $2. This is a new book that I didn't show yesterday. Most of the stack is all the new stuff. Mr. Miracle number 4, $2. Venom number 152 and 155. That's $4 on these two. Amazing Spider-Man Renew Your Vows number 8, number 9, and number 12. You know what's interesting? Mary Jane is Venom now, but they actually kind of already did it here. She's Venom here too. If you decide you want to grab these 3 books, it is going to be $6 for Amazing Spider-Man Renew Your Vows numbers 8, 9, and 12 by Jerry Conway, a legendary Spider-Man writer, and Ryan Stegman, a legendary Venom and Spidey artist. Infinity Inc. number 22, 23, 24, and 25. This is by Roy Thomas and Todd McFarlane. This is going to go for $8. I've never had to work so hard to sell Todd McFarlane work before. This is really crazy. Future State Green Lantern number 2 is $2. Dr. Aphra number 13 is $2. Future State Superman versus Imperious Lex number 3 is $2. Deadpool number 19 is $2. Superman Madman Hullabaloo number 203 is $2. Punisher number 10 and number 17. This is new. That's going to go for $4. Hulk number 8. This is also new. $2. Deadpool versus Old Man Logan number 1, $2. When I say new, it means I didn't showcase it last night. This is I did a restock so that I would have some new books for today too. Amazing Spider-Man number 27 and number 30. This is from Dan Slott's run. This is where Peter Parker finds the Parker Industries. That's going to go for $4. Okay, we want the Deadpool. So are you getting both Deadpool versus Old Man Logan as well? Are we doing both of those, Lorena? And then you wanted Dr. Aphra as well. So that's all 3 of these, correct? Let me know. Yeah. Hawkeye number 5 is $2. Bullseye number 3 is $2. Don't pass up on this. This is such a great series. It's only 5 issues. Start off here. Let this be your gateway drug. Really great series. I think Dave Johnson is the cover artist on all these. He did a great job with the covers. All of them are stellar. Zen the Intergalactic Ninja number 1 and number 2 from Archie. This is going to go for $4. Spidey 2099 number 22 and 25 by Peter David. $4 on these. Spider-Man number 15. This is Miles Morales. Spider-Man number 15 going for $2. Amazing Spider-Man 789, Fall of Parker, Part 1. This is where we find out how Dr. Octopus takes over Peter Parker's body. $2. Gwenpool, number 14 and 21. That's going to go for $4. Spirits of Vengeance, number 1, $2. Despicable Deadpool 287 is $2. Star Wars 37 is $2. Venomverse number 5 is $2. Moon Girl and Double Dinosaur 23 is $2. Scooby Apocalypse number 15 is $2. Black Panther 166 is $2. Harley Quinn 36 is $2. Classics Illustrated, I have The Invisible Man, War of the Worlds, and The Crisis by Winston Churchill. Each one's going to go for $2, all for $6. Swamp Thing 92 is $2. Batman Adventures Annual number 2 is $2. Deadpool and Star Wars. Wars. Star Wars. Gotcha. Okay. Awesome. So this is going to be my last show of the week, just so you guys know, because obviously I'm leaving for Denver tomorrow. Or sorry, not Denver, Dallas tomorrow. I'll be going to Denver in beginning of July. Scooby in Classics. Oh, okay, gotcha. Scooby and Classics. Also going to Lorena. Lorena's jumping on all this. Lorena, you're awesome. I love you. 6. I'm feeding your obsession, but you're feeding mine as well. Just so you know, I'm buying more comics. As I'm selling more comics, I'm buying more. Swamp Thing is off to Chris Nash. Got you. Okay. Miles, 15. Got it. And Spirits of Vengeance. This is such a great series. You're really going to like this, Mike. Okay. Miles, 15. And then you wanted Spidey, 789. Gotcha. I have everyone's things here. Okay. Not sure we're going to get to any $2 comics today because I still have like so much stuff to show off. And I have a bunch of Spectacular Spider-Man books to show off too. But let's get caught up first. So yeah, I'll be off the air for the rest of the week, but I'll be at the con. And if there's something you guys want me to, try and look for, I can. I'm not going to stock up very much over there for the next 2 weeks. I'm not going to really do any stocking up because I have to fly back with stuff. And I don't want to fly back with it. And I don't know how the conventions are going to turn out either. So got to be careful. So I will stock up at my LCS. And I'll go visit Pete because, he just got this new collection. There's a lot of modern stuff in there. So if there's something particular you want me to be on the lookout for, I will be on the hunt for it. We're going to do 2 episodes. We did 2 episodes this week. We'll do 2 episodes next week. And then on the 3rd week when I get back into town and I'm like situated and ready to go, we'll get back to our 3-day-a-week sales show schedule. I have Incredible Hulk number 5. This is Legacy number 786. We got a variant cover here. Number 9, that's the A, and number 10. I've read every single issue of this series. It's kind of brings Hulk back to his horror roots that they were exploring a lot in Immortal Hulk. It's done by Philip Kennedy Johnson. Is it Philip Kennedy Johnson? Yeah, Philip Kennedy Johnson. And they have Nick Klein doing a lot of the issues, but, some of them he doesn't do. I think he did this one. No, these are all done by Earls. But Earls does a really good job, too. And it's really more of a horror book. So if you like horror and you like Hulk, you'll like this. $6. Darth Vader, number 40 is $2. Number 43 is $2. Gonna go for $4. Shirtless Bear Fighter 2, number 4, $2. Awesome. Yeah, let me know what you think of those Hulks. I think they're up to like issue 25. The last issue that came out was issue 25. It came out last week. Nick Klein came back, and it was a big battle between Hulk and Thor, and that was freaking fun as hell. I loved it. It was awesome. Lots and lots of fun. Star Wars 38 is $2. And then I have a big stack of Peter Parker Spectacular Spider-Man books here. Huge stack. Huge. Each book's going for $2 by itself. If you decide to pick up the stack, I'll give you a good deal on it. So I have 2 copies of issue 11, 15, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 38, 44, 45, 48. We got a Frank Miller cover here. 49, 50, another Miller, 53, 66, and 68. I think there might be one more in there too. Actually, no, that's it. So we got all these here. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 17. So that's 17. That would be $34 for all of them. I'll just do them all at 25. If you want to grab them all and just take them off my hands, it's 25 bucks. That gets you an immediate spin on the wheel. And then you'd be taking the duplicate too. X-Men number 10 is $2. Unstable Molecules number 3 is going to go for $2. It's 3 of 4. Marvel Comics Presents 157 is $2. Mighty Thor Annual from 2000, $2. The Joker, The Man Who Stopped Laughing number 10 is $2. Black Adam number 7 is $2. Web of Spidey number 14, 25, 84, 88, 97, and number 98. If you decide to do all of these, it is going to go for 2, 4, 6. I'll do them all for 10 bucks. They're not in the best shape, so I'll just do them all at 10. 8 comics for 10 bucks. $1 something per book. Elektra Flashback number 1 is $2. Gambit number 4. This is part of the 4-issue Gambit series. It's going to go for $2. Darth Vader 43. CJ, what's up, dude? 43. I have The Last Sin of Mark Grimm, number 1 of 4, going for $2. It's also signed by the creator, Mark McManus. I think it's Mark McManus. M. Sean McManus, which is really cool. It's a black and white book. Looks like it was printed on newsprint. Really great artwork inside. $2. Get a signed comic for $2. Grimm Fairy Tales number 0, $2. You can only get that kind of deal at a convention. Amazing Spider-Man number 12, 15, and 33. That's going to go for $6 for this set here. Asterix. We got the free comic book day Asterix going for $2. Highlander number 8 is going to go for $2. Street Fighter versus Final Fight, free comic book day, going for $2. Dissension number 1, War Eternal, is going to go for $2. Daredevil Black Armor number 1 is $2. Exceptional X-Men number 1 is $2. Rat City number 2 is $2. We're all doing great, CJ. How are you doing, buddy? This guy is always tuning in. He's the man. He created an AI image of him and I, dressed as cowboys going across the nation kicking ass. It's awesome. I would totally tour with this guy. Salmon Twitch Case Files number 1 is going to go for $2. Walking Dead Deluxe 79, 84, 91. This is going to go for $6. $6 on all of it. The Crow. Dead Time. Number 1 cover A and number 2 cover A. Get them both for $4. Written by James O'Barr, the creator of The Crow. Matt Wagner and Alex Maleev. Tag team that bitch. It's going to go for $4. Okay, Sammy Twitch. Off to Arena. Bitter Root, the next movement. We got an ash can here going for just $2. Usually ash cans can sell for a lot more than just $2. Just letting you guys know. This is kind of like a fun little find, especially for an Eisner winning series. Eisner winning series, meant to say. Duke number 5 is $2. Destro number 4 is $2. Night of the Slashers number 4 is $2. Lilo and Stitch number 4 is $2. Spawn Kills Every Spawn number 2 of 5, 3 of 5, and number 4 of 5. He didn't kill my Spawn. He didn't kill the Spawn that does the bootings. $6 on that. Bitter Root off to Steve Rogers, Captain America number 15, really killer cover here. That's going to go for $2. All New, All Different Avengers number 10, number 11, and number 12. I have 2, 3, and 4. I don't have 5. All New, All Different Avengers number 10 through 12 is going to go for $6. Got some cool Alex Ross covers. I have X-Men Entered Now, Age of X-Man. This is going to go for $2. I have Second Sight, number 1, number 2, number 3, number 4, and number 5. That's going to go for $10. $10 for Second Sight from Aftershock Comics, a publisher that is no longer publishing. Unfortunately, very unfortunate. But the properties still exist, and I'm sure the creators are still invested in doing something with their projects. The Wilds number 1 is going to go for $2. It's a Black Mask series. Hi, Bentley. How are you, buddy? I'm so glad he's doing okay. It's the most important thing to me. I was really freaked out. I'm not going to lie. Like I said, I just didn't sleep last night. It was really hard to sleep when you're worried about your guy. Bentley's my homie G. He got up and then went back to sleep. Spectacular Spider-Man 177, 188. That's going to go for $4. So $4 on the Spec Spideys. They're not in the best condition, just so you know. I have some Catwoman here. I'm going for $2. Catwoman 7. Supergirl and Team Luthor number 1 is $2. Gambit number 1, number 2, number 5, number 6, number 7. I have 2 copies of number 8. Number 9, number 10. Where are you going, Max?
I'm gonna go put the coffee mug away.
Number 10. Do you want to have lunch soon?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, let me finish up my show and we'll have lunch together.
Okay.
The 99 annual, 2. So I got 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. I got all 10 of these books here. I'll do them all for $1.50 a pop. If you grab the whole set, it's 15 as opposed to $20. So let me know if you want to take these Gambits off my hands. I would really love it. Minecraft, the manga. We got the free comic book day here. It reads right to left as opposed to left to right. We got a Diablo comic going for $2. I'm going to take down our remaining FOMO books. We only have 5 FOMO books left. Yeah, I unfortunately don't have a lot. Chuck actually taught me this a while ago, especially when I was kind of coming through some really tough times in the beginning of my, new life post-marriage. I see my kids. I have my kids 50% of the time. They have shared custody, and sometimes at first there was a little bit more flexibility in the schedule, and when I would go to a convention, I'd be able to make it up on the back end and see the kids during the week. Well, I'm dealing with some things I don't really want. I don't get to see them very much. Like this week, I haven't seen them all week. This week, I'm only going to see them twice. And it really kills me. I'm not going to lie. It really kills me because they need their father in their lives, and I want to be there for them, but duty calls, I have to go work. So one thing Chuck told me was, to really make the time that I have with them count, even if it's not a lot of time, to really make the small, amount of time that I do have with them count. So that's what I do. So, where I can, I do the best I can. So that's it. All right. I have a couple FOMO books left. Deadpool number 8. That's going to go for $3. Destro number 1, $3. Chitara number 1 is $3. Scarlet number 1 is $3. Doom Academy number 1. I'm going to keep this at $5 because I bought it off the racks. I didn't like it, so I'm just reselling it. Honest truth. You might, though, and it's an issue 1, so hey. Yeah, it really is precious. Kids need their parents nearby, especially my younger son. He really needs me. So Max is more or less okay without me. He doesn't give a crap either way. It's like, whatever. Dad, whatever. Dad's lame. I'm like, shut up, Max, big jerk. Ha! Chris Steiskell, Sergeant CJ, do your work. That's parenting right there. If you want a daddy, Chris Steiskell will give you a spanking. Invincible Iron Man, number 12 and number 20. That's going to go for $4. Well, you know what? They do find a way. They become their own people. But the most important thing is to try and be an anchor for them, and to be there for them, so that they know that they have the emotional support and that you're there for them when it really counts. So that's what matters to me. Sergeant is the best work I've done. That's awesome. Great answer to your old man. That's great. X-Men Fantastic Four, number 1, number 2, and number 3. It's a 4-part series by Chip Zdarsky and the Dodsons. This is going to go for $6. Yeah, well, hey, comics is all about getting mushy. The Shadow Strikes, number 1, and number 21. I was feeling quite mushy after I We closed out that campaign on Friday. I was really just so darn happy. Another thing I want to tell you guys too that happened, we actually got some late pledges after the campaign ended, and came really close to hitting $6,000 on the campaign. So I'm really happy about that. I'm really grateful to all you guys. So thank you. You know, in any capacity that you helped out, it means a lot, and especially to the indie comics community. I mean, man, they really just stepped up for me at the end. I don't think we would have had the results we would have without them. Thanks, Katrina. I appreciate that. I have the weird number 3 going for $2. Katrina, you're awesome. You've been like hanging out with me a lot lately. I appreciate it. I love having you here. And for those of you guys who don't know, Katrina is actually a creator. We sold one of her books here. Lorena, you picked it up, the cat book. That's Katrina. I have Star Trek Discovery, Adventures in the 32nd Century, number 2, Star Trek Resurgence, number 3, and Star Trek Discovery, number 4. That's going to go for $6. Man Without Fear, number 5. That's 2. Dark Crisis, number 2 is $2. Batman Beyond, number 12 and 16. It's going to go for $4. Of course I did. I got them from you on a Kickstarter. I backed you at like the retail level, and so I got like 5 copies of your book. I think we sold like a couple of them. Dark Knight's Metal, number 1. That's going to go for $2. Justice League of America, number 2. Oh wait, actually, 1. You put a book in my hand, and I will sell the heck out of it, Katrina. That's how it goes. You know how it is. You worked with me at a convention. All right, Justice League of America, number 248, $2. The First Team President, number 2 is $2. Spider-Gwen, number 20, $2. Death of Doctor Strange, Blade, number 1, we got a variant edition. And Iron Man, number 1, $2. A glowing review for Katrina from Lorena. And Lorena is one of our most voracious readers. Voracious is a carnivore. All right. I'm going to go over the bottom row again. We sold through half of our FOMO books today, which is really great. Yesterday, we almost sold through all the FOMO books. I have one FOMO book left from yesterday. And of course, it's a Captain America book. No one likes Captain America here. We're not very patriotic right now. This is awesome. Now, you guys, we were talking about earlier what the gold is, like being a collector, and we were talking a little bit about it. This is the gold, is when you guys, talk about reading each other's, reading another independent creator's work and having that creator here and the satisfaction that they hear from getting praise for their work. Thank you very much, Lorena. Thank you. Thank you for saying that. I think everybody's doing great. This is my personal opinion. As a guy who is an avid Marvel and DC guy and a big supporter of the indie comics community, I will tell you that everyone is doing great work right now. And we're all in this collective industry together. All of us, the best of us, even the worst of us, want comics to do well. We want more people to read comics. And it doesn't matter if they just read Marvel or just read indie. It's all a collective. And the more comics that people read, the more of a pathway, the more of a gateway that we create for this industry. And I honestly think this is the best time to be in this industry. A lot of people are like, comics are kind of like dwindling in interest, the movies are getting kind of boring, blah, blah, blah. But there's just so much more to this medium than just superheroes. There are so many different stories that are being told and being told quite well. So always keep that interest and curiosity alive in yourself, because comics are great. Great form of literature. Thank you, dude. Mike, you're awesome. I told you I'm in for Tampa this year, so I'll be in Tampa in August. So I hope to see you there. That's where we met originally. So I look forward to seeing you out there, buddy. All right, I have the last 4 FOMO books. Doom Academy 1, $5 on this. Destro number 1 is 3. Chitara number 1 is 3. Scarlet number 1 is 3. Really? What did I say? I remember the days if someone said that the bullies came out like the plague. What are you referring to, Ken? What I just said? I don't like bullies because I used to be one. Actually, my best friend is a total bully. He's the biggest bully of all time. I love him, but he's like the biggest bully ever. He makes fun of me like all the time. And I'm like, now I make fun of him like even harder. Okay, Destro. I actually have Destro number 4 as well. Did you want to grab that? And I think I have number 3 as well. It's a 5-issue series, Lorena. So I have issues. So we'll do 1 and 3. I have 3 here, and I have 4. How about we do 3 plus 4? That's 7. Would you do 6 on all 3 of these? So I can get rid of them? Let me know. Yeah, honestly, you're right, Ken. Like, this is true. A lot of people did not support reading comics for a long time, which is really strange to me. I don't get it. Like, when I was growing up, like, it was not the cool thing to do. I was actually talking to my son about that. Like, people only started becoming fans of comics once the movies started, like, taking off. And, now it's cool to read comics. But back in the day, it wasn't. I still feel kind of, like, weird, like, when I took Alan to his swim school yesterday, and I brought comics with me and I read them when I'm over there. And most of the parents are reading like adult stuff, boring crap to like seem important. Like, I'm not about that. So I just read freaking comics, and they can go suck one. They can suck my Savage Dragon balls that I'll drag across their face. I totally did not deliver well on that, did I? Totally screwed that up. All right, we're down to 3 FOMO books: Doom Academy, Chitara, and Scarlet. But we also have a bunch of lower rack books. I have Marvel Spotlight on Nick Fury, number 31, going for $3. Captain America 331, the last FOMO book from last night, going for $3. House of Mystery, number 318, $3. Marvel Spotlight on Captain Universe, number 11, $3 on this. Miss Marvel, number 7, $3 on this. Shang-Chi, number 35, Master of Kung Fu, $3. Doctor Strange, Master of the Mystic Arts, number 16 is $3. Oh, it's true. I know a lot of really successful people, especially in the independent comics realm. You look at Brian Pulido, he's actually a real benchmark for me. And an even greater benchmark for me is Sean Udachko from Comics Elite. Just seeing how he's built his business. It's really hard to juggle being a full-time retailer and a full-time publisher, and this guy does it. And he is traveling to all the conventions. He's doing whatnot sales. He's doing everything. This guy is a real big hustler. He is really, really working it, and he's got an organized team. He's doing what works for him. And I have a massive amount of respect for him. And he's also a really big background in my latest campaign. I have an immense amount of respect for Shauna Dutchko. Jen King, she's also someone I look at as being very successful in this business. And Todd McFarlane. There's just so many people who are not starving artists. I'm not a starving artist. Thanks to you guys, I'm not a starving artist. In conventions and everything, this is what pays the bills for me. So you can be starving, because there are times when the business can fluctuate, but that's any industry. That's not just comics. It's not limited to just this business. It's everything. You're always going to thrive. And I learned this from being in the hedge fund world, the place where people, and I'll tell you, when back in my hedge fund days, if I wanted to, I could still be in that industry right now. I chose to get out of it because it didn't hold any interest for me. And the volatility of it is just really stressful. I could never see myself being a day trader and seeing stocks go up and down and sideways. And it's all just a bunch of bullshit anyway. Honestly, that's my opinion. There's no sense of any of it. Why a stock goes up or down or sideways, whatever, none of it makes any sense to me. It does to the people who work in that area. But the one thing I did learn is that if you are a master of a sector and you understand something like, let's just say the energy sector, right, which is like oil and all that kind of stuff, and that industry, the companies and everything, and you do deep research on this stuff, you're going to be really successful in that area. Well, I'm not interested in energy. I'm not interested in the stock market. I am interested in comic books. So I took that mindset and brought it to this industry. It doesn't matter. I've seen so many people in my hedge fund days who walked out of the business because they lost a shit ton of money. Like, we're talking millions of dollars, and they are out of that field after that. I saw another guy, they brought him in, and it turned out that he had an SEC violation on him, and they had to fire him immediately. That guy's not working in that business anymore. So, and that's the thing too, is when you're in that world, you're in like an upper echelon. And in order to stay in that field, you got to be very aggressive, and you got to be really smart and cunning. And it takes a certain personality to be that way. That's not me. I'd rather stand in front of a table at a convention and tell you about the work I created. Freaking buy my comics, eat! Sorry. buy, sell! Sorry. All right. I have Incredible Hulk 296 going for $3. Mighty Avengers 254, $3. Daredevil 198, $3 on that. Fantastic Four 192 is $3 on this. Invaders 41, $3 on this. Blood Syndicate 1, $3 on this. Defenders 29, $3 on this. Yeah, I know, Katrina. I know you do. I'm just teasing. But that's literally what it's like working in that field. I mean, like it gets really stressful. And I was never trading. I was actually doing office management. But when I was initially brought on as an intern, I was like I was working with other analysts, and they gave me these big reports on these companies, and I had to like read these like annual reports, and it was so freaking boring. I didn't care about any of it. Just did not care. I just stopped doing it. I didn't even bother anymore. But it paid well. And so they moved me around into a different area, and I started working more closely with the IT department. And I was doing like office setups, but I was also doing like general office management stuff. And I was also a gopher. I was whatever they needed me to be. I had a lot of like office moves and things like that. So, it was a great job. It taught me a lot. I didn't really like who I was working for, but my direct manager. But it was a job that gave me a lot of experience. I wouldn't be able to do any of this stuff right now if it was not for that job. That job taught me everything I needed to learn in order to set off on my own. So, it's good to have that experience. And I learned from really smart people. People have been, doing the hedge fund stuff for a long time. And these are not stupid people. These are people who are very strong-minded and, understand what it's like to have a good day and a bad day, and how to keep, your wits about you when you go through it. And it's hard. I see these guys making millions of dollars in a day and then losing, twice as much the next day. It happens. It is crazy the amount of money that you see getting, transacted in that industry. Chris, I'm going to invoice tonight just so I can get everybody caught up so that I'm not falling behind. But another thing I could do, if you guys want, is I can hold off on invoicing until next Wednesday. So that would just be 2 more shows. So we can hold off on invoicing. That would actually be really great for me. So that way I can focus on, just being with the kids today. I have the Dark Crystal number 1 and 2. That's going to go for just $8. Kingdom Come number 1, 2, 3, and 4 is going to go for $15 for Kingdom Come, all 4 parts. And then Judge Dredd Crime File number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6 is going to go for $15. Mike, that Joker is going to go for $2 if you want it. Yeah, that's fine. I'll hold off for everybody. If everybody's okay, I'm just going to invoice you guys at the end of next week. Let me know what you want to do, Mike. We'll pull it off to the side for you. In the meantime, I'm going to start spinning wheels. So the only person I'm going to spin the wheel for today is Lorena. Yes, it's the same series as the FOMO one. Correct. All right. Time to spin the wheel. Let's do this.
It's time to spin the wheel of skateball.
All right. Spinning the wheel for you, Lorena. Lorena gets a free Marvel book. I am going to hook Lorena up today with Man Without Fear number 5. There you go. All right, guys. Hi, Tori. How are you? Judge Dredd is going to go for 15. 15 on Judge Dredd. I love you too, Tori. You're the best. All right, CJ, you or your dad can message me about the Judge Dredd, so they're here. I'm going to close out the show now because I got to get back to being a dad, and it's dad duty time. But, guys, I want to thank you very much. Last night was a pretty stressful night for me with Bentley, and no, 15 for the whole set, CJ. It was stressful finding a tick on Bentley, not getting any sleep, dealing with the stress of getting my car damaged, my mom and all these other personal things I've been dealing with, leaving the kids and everything. This time that we had together today really meant a lot to me. I appreciate it. There was a real big part of me that was actually kind of considering canceling because I was not in the mood to do a show today, but I came here for you guys, and thank you for coming here for me. I really, really appreciate it. Whether we sell a lot of comics and I make a lot of money or a little bit of money, it doesn't matter. Being here with you guys, this is what counts. This is why I do this. This matters to me more than anything. So thank you so much. I appreciate it. I'll be back on the air next week with you guys. In the meantime, you can follow my exploits at Fan Expo Dallas. We're setting up at booth number 206. I'm shooting for a sellout for Warline and Isun Shin and Mark. So wish me luck. I'll see you guys there, and I'll see you guys next week. Take care. Have a good one.